The 21-day cleanse and why I've created those 5 different isms, which is the prebiotic, the pre-digestible and the mind, is super important. What makes my cleanse any different from the cleanses out there in the world? Well, I focus on 2 main things, which is pre-digestible foods and foods that have prebiotics in it. So let me explain the first one. So you've got pre-digestible foods loaded with prebiotics. The body is winning in that space. It gets a chance to, number one, have a rest from chewing. There's no teeth past here. The blender is doing the chewing for us, and the cooking is doing that because it's breaking it down. And the prebiotics is what's watering our garden of natural probiotics, which is in our tummies, which is our gut. Those 2 make it a very different cleanse from anything out there. Now, I've worked in this industry such a long time. I have facilitated, been in, taught in, worked in numerous health retreats around the world, and literally, up to 20 different types of cleanses and fasting. And I've seen really amazing effects actually, but I've never seen something so heartwarming and giving to the body like what I've created. And throughout the entire cleanse you have, it's an ecosystem, and in that ecosystem is 3 other main components to the 2, which is pre-digestible foods and prebiotic foods. It is the 3 main body systems that come into play with those 2 main factors. The first one is the head. The head, in my head here it's my skull, right? And in that skull there is what we know as a brain. And the brain has a mind. And all the stories and all the trauma and all the fear and all the greatness and all the joy and all the happiness and all the love and all the heartbreak and all the heartwarming moments are stored here. And we call that memory. And in some parts of that memory, we create massive stories around it. And they're real stories, and sometimes they're embellished, right? They're embellished or they're over the top, or we don't let go of them. Whether they're good, bad or ugly, we carry them around. And we carry them in these very big suitcases that we put onto our shoulders, right? And it's a whole array of vibes in that suitcase. The 21-day cleanse and why I've created those 5 different isms, which is the prebiotic, the pre-digestible and the mind, is super important. So hear me out here. So the mind is really powerful. It's the thinking part of everything that we are as Cynthia, as a human being. Like Cynthia has 78 organs. She moves her hands. Things can move, the hair grows, things happen. My breast enlarged when I get my period. I get a little bit of soreness here, and things happen in this brain. I think and I feel. Do you know what I mean? And I create story, or I have story. And it's very fascinating. And in the cleanse, I have a spiritual teacher in there who's my spiritual teacher, who happens to be someone that I've been working with for over 10 years. And she just happens to be also one of my best friends. And she has this ability and this incredible way of facilitating the mind and to allowing the human not to spiritually bypass trauma and to put things in a box and not look at it, but to understand the now and the present moment. So the mind is one of the most important things in this cleanse, with the backup dancer of my spiritual teacher in this cleanse with videos to actually explain how the mind works throughout the cleanse and what to experience with letting go of the old paradigm and the suitcases of stories. It's phenomenal. The second thing in the cleanse is very deep connection to the heart. So we've got the mind, which is the thinking, and the heart. Now the heart is a really interesting muscle. It's this incredible, I can't even explain it. It's gorgeous, it's around about this big. It sits right in the center of my chest, to the left a bit, and it has these amazing chambers and these incredible ways of pumping blood through our body. It is phenomenal. it also has this ability to remember. This is the only way I can explain it actually, is that if someone has a heart transplant and they live far, far away, and they go, hey, listen, Michael's acting like this, this, and this, and the family says, oh my God, that's what John used to act like. That connection is phenomenal. And the heart has this ability to remember and has this ability to feel. So we've got the brain, which is thinking, and we've got the heart, which is the feeling. So the letting go, the stories, what limits us from doing a cleanse, or what limits us from moving forward in our finances, or in our relationships, or with our body issues, or with the way we eat, breathe, sleep, perceive, move, all those things in the world, right? The brain. And then the feeling is the heart. So they're really huge components in the cleanse. And the third one, which is to me the most remarkable one, and it doesn't outdo the other two, but it's so remarkable because science is finding out things all the time about this particular brain, and it is our gut brain. And the reason why it's called a brain, because we have living microbiome in there that have this ability to either keep us healthy or keep us unhealthy. It's really that simple. And when you connect the three brains together, which I've done in this 21-day cleanse alongside prebiotic foods and pre-digestible foods, something extraordinary happens. And the most extraordinary thing that happens throughout the 21 days is you manage somehow, in the beauty that you are, to let go. And that's the mind. And then you have this incredible wisdom and this incredible feeling of this open heart and this feeling of love and dedication to your body. And this incredible doing, which is the gut, which creates and moves, and it is being showered in prebiotic foods, watering that garden of probiotics, which is your gut. And throughout the whole cleanse, you have this moment in time. You know, we've lived such a long time. You know, I'm 50 years old. 21 days is nothing. It is nothing when you look at the scheme of things. And to do that at least 3 times a year is a bargain, because the cost of going somewhere to do a cleanse is so big and the ingredients are so bizarre and you've got to spend a lot of money, and this just evens it out. In all my experience, I've never felt so delighted. I've never felt so proud and so honored to share this with you at home. It is one of the most delightful moments in my career to be able to sit with you and be with you within this cleanse, with the video content in the back end, with the filmed recipes, with our beautiful experts that are in the cleanse, that have their own programs, that deliver great content and shopping list and downloadable recipes and downloadable shopping list and downloadable meal plan. The entire ecosystem of the cleanse is just delicious.